Welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna get into this 99J. Yes, that's right, 99J, and you only know about 99J if you go to the beauty supply store, because this is beauty supply store here. But I added a frontal and I did a color match, guys. I'm gonna show you guys how to get this look. We actually went in with our bow hole lace jelly just to do a temporary hole, and I'm about to show you guys how to do this exact look. Let's get into it. This is a 13 by 4 frontal, and what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to do a color match to match this pack here from the beauty supply store. I'm using Igora, and it's a $9.98. I'm going to take a 30 volume, and I'm going to pre-soften this hair just to lighten it up to a brown. Then I'm going to go in with the Igora $9.98 with the 40 volume. As you can see here, it got to a nice brown. Now I'm ready to apply my color. Just like I've done in previous videos, I always start in the middle. That is easiest for me, and I mainly work on the roots because it's super easy just to go ahead and apply to the ends. I'm doing the roots this way I can make sure that I'm not getting it on the lace. I'm using a very, very small brush. That way I can get in there really, really easy. I'm taking that hair and I'm going forward. This is going to keep it neat, at least for me. And you have to come up with your own ways, you know, to get the color on, whatever suits you. I've already protected the actual frontal with the gel that I've done in previous videos. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch some of my coloring videos that are in my playlist. Notice here, following this video, you see that now I'm going ahead and I'm adding it to the ends because it's already on the root. This is so much easier for me, and you just have to kind of come up with your own way. It's nothing wrong with that, but this works easiest for me. Is super, super neat because I could just go ahead and throw it on the end. I don't have to like worry about what I'm getting here and there, and if I'm taking too long. I love it like this. So go in and take your comb and make sure you're getting it through and through. I take a small tooth comb, I work that color in. I do this pretty much on all of my actual like wigs that I color that are frontals, even the closures. I do it on all of my units. This way I know that everything is gonna be, you know, pristine. It's gonna be even. That's super important to me, so that, you know, when people see it in person, you know, it looks super professional and well done. All right, so here is the color match, and I got really close. You won't always get it exact, but it's important to get it as close as possible. Okay, so this is what it looks like before I tweeze it. I use my Sally's tweezers for 99¢, and it is perfect. Yeah, so go watch my tweezing videos, my customization videos. Now I'm gonna make this semi-glueless, right? My head is a 11 across the front, so I want to position this frontal. It's actually a 13, so I want to make it into an 11. Now I'm going to use a actual dome cap, and I'm going to mark off the ear part. This is just easiest for me, especially when you're making a wig for yourself. I also teach you guys how to do this on my wig making using a sewing machine to make wigs. I teach you all of the measurements, but this right here is just a quick way for anybody to do it. I am a 21-inch circumference, so I'm using a canvas block that's a 21-inch. This frontal is a 13 by 4, so it's 13 the long way and or the length, and I'm going to take off an inch on each side so I can change this into 11 across, right? So I just take even amounts of an inch from each side, and I'm just going to cut it, and I'm going to cut it at an angle, right? I'm going to cut it at an angle so it dips down and I have an actual, you know, sideburn. Notice here I marked it using a gray marker. That way when I part it, I can actually see where I'm cutting. I always part it and cut. So you see the slight angle and the slight angle on the left and the right, and when I put it on, it's gonna dip down. So you're gonna love this. Let me also tell you this, like with wig making, you have to get the proper measurement so that your wig is not sliding back. But I cover all of that on my own line. You can check that out on my video. Right here, I'm measuring an inch. You can go an 1.5 inches like in the front, because I'm gonna have to pull that forward. Now, when I pull it forward, I'm looking for that dot that I marked off 1.5 inches. That's gonna give me that forehead space so it does not slide back. And right here, you notice I'm pointing on the corners. I'm gonna pull that out 1 inch. That way it covers my corners and it will dip down and give me that realistic look, and it's gonna hold and be glueless. Now, I always use product, right? Because I don't like to use combs. Notice here, I pinned it and I'm braiding it away from the cap so that I can stitch it. And I'm just gonna stitch it from left to right. I left that inch, you see that inch in front, so that it comes down and I have that dip down. Now, I'm gonna stitch it, just doing some basic stitching, guys. You don't have to do anything special, but just stitch it from left to right. Okay, so now once you are complete, you wanna go ahead and cut that middle section out of that cap that's laying under the frontal, because you want it to emulate a actual scalp, and that is just too dark. So we wanna cut that out. Now I'm checking it and I'm making sure everything looks good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I actually wanna try it on so you guys can see how that ear, like right by the ear, is gonna come down and cover. Like, you have to do the proper placement in order for these actual wigs to look right, even if you're sewing on a sewing machine. So now I'm protecting my canvas block because I'm about to glue this unit and I don't want to get glue on my canvas block, and I want to be able to take this wig off and on. It's just a quick fix, you know, guys. Like, if you're on a budget, or not, you don't even have to be on a budget. Like, for people who are just want something really quick and they want a new look like really quick, or you're in a bind, like, I think this is a great idea. Right here, I'm pinning it so it does not move because it will slide. I'm gonna be just using some regular bonding glue and my actual Pump It Up hairspray. If you don't know where you're going, I actually recommend you get a gray marker so you can draw it out and just go ahead and draw those lines. These lines don't have to represent where you're going to place the track. They represent and give you a guide. You can put them in between. You can make this as full as you want, because if you make those tracks close together, it's going to make the wig super thick, and that's fine if that's what you want. But this is just a guide so that you know where you're going, and so that I don't get on that ear part. If you notice there, I marked off that ear part so I know not to go on there, because sometimes when you put glue or either sew on your sewing machine right on top of the ear area, it can like create a little irritation right there. So go ahead and draw it out. It won't hurt. This washes off and you'll be just fine. Just go ahead and draw out where you're going. I'm actually doing like a semicircle all the way up to the top, and you can see here it goes in a slight U shape. Now you want to measure out exactly the width, especially on each track, so that you know that you're placing it in the right place and it's the exact desired length that you want it to be. When you lay it on there, it's gonna be perfect. If you notice here, try not to use too much glue. You don't want it dripping. So I'm gonna take that hairspray. That hairspray is going to help that glue dry. Like, it is like everything when you're doing your quick weaves. Like, this is kind of old school. I talk about this, you know, several times on my videos. Like, this is old school, but you know, it's nothing wrong with bringing back the old and making it new. Like, that's what we do. So each track, I'm just gonna spray with the hairspray, spray the cap with the hairspray, so that this will allow my glue to dry. Make sure when you get by that ear part, stay away from that ear part like I explained. Take that dryer and dry it all the way, and you'll do this all the way up to the top. If you notice here, like, I'm just going to follow these guides. I'm not gonna veer off because I know exactly where I'm going, and this way it's gonna make it completely easy for you guys. Take that dryer. It's called a Quickweave because it's quick. Now, when you first start doing this, you might feel like, you know what, man, this is taking me a long time, but that's just like anything that you do for the first time. Like, don't be afraid to try new things. Right now, like, sometimes it's hard to get, you know, the exact hair that you want, and I just feel like doing this right here is like a quick fix to that, you know, because like since COVID, it's been hard to get like quality, right? So I just want to show you guys like quick fixes that you can do. This could last you anywhere from a month. I've had some wigs that I made Actually, that lasted me like a year because I didn't wear them all the time. So I'm able to like slide them on and slide them off, change my wigs. Like if you change your look a lot, this is cool too to add to your wig collection. So I just really like it. There's a lot of choices and colors. You won't have to worry about coloring it because it's already colored. But I did color the frontal, so you saw that, and that didn't take much. And you can find whatever color, and like I said, I just lighten it a little bit. That way when I do put the permanent hair color on there, you know I was gonna get a good match. All right, so now that I am complete, I'm ready to take everything off this canvas block. Look at how I just peeled it off away from that plastic, honey. Nothing on there, but if you are like left with a little plastic, just go ahead and peel it off. I'm drying it with my dryer to make sure that I have the total inside just totally dry. I spray a little bit of my actual hairspray, dry it again. This is gonna make those tracks last because we know glue doesn't last long, but that's gonna give you that extra hold. I'm gonna take this easy root just so that I can get close to that root and cover that area that I didn't get. I could have went in with some color and did it, but I didn't notice it until it dried. And sometimes that happens. I can always, when it's time for me to shampoo this unit, I can always go back and, you know, fix the root then, but I did not have time. It's real easy to use. You just push up from the bottom and that will release the product. If you got too much, you can take a paper towel, kind of wipe it. I'll make sure I link the information. If you guys want to try this product, I'll link that in my description so that you can try it as well. All right, so I like to use a serum, a real light serum on my weaves. I don't like to use a lot of oils because I just don't want it to weigh my weave down. So I'll use a light serum. This serum is a serum that I'm actually working on myself. So I just been testing it out and it is amazing. It smells amazing too. I can't wait to add this to my website. You guys are going to love it. Gives it a nice sheen and it looks fabulous and it doesn't weigh the hair down. I'm going to use my T3 irons. I love these. These irons are like amazing. Now this is beauty supply store hair, so don't turn it all the way up. I have it up, so I'm gonna turn it down. I'll probably put it on 3. Usually beauty supply store hair is blended, so it will stick to your iron. So you wanna make sure that you don't have it too hot, especially if you're using a really good tool like the T3. All right, guys, so I like to use Kenra number 9 and number 8 because they're very light. Like I said, I do not like to weigh my hair down. This is just gonna give it a nice sleek look, and I'm gonna do some barrel curls and I'm going to pin it so that it will set the curl and hold it. Now these uniform curls that I'm doing, you've probably seen these on the internet. Everybody does these barrel curls, but it's a specific way that you have to do these curls because if you don't, you're gonna get different results. And something that I've learned in beauty school, and people may not talk about it, you know, when it comes to the internet or YouTube, but there are different type of curls. There's an on-base curl when it's like directly, I'm gonna do an on-base curl where it sits directly on the base and it sits even. This is gonna give you a tighter curl. I'm gonna do an off-base curl in the top because I don't want the top to be too tight, and I'll show you what I mean shortly. But this is directly on the base of that section. The bottom one is loosening up. It looks like an off base, but when you say on base, it's sitting directly on the base, and that's gonna create a tighter curl. So this one is sitting off, but I want it on base. It's kind of loose, so let's tighten that up. That might be a little, that terminology may be a little foreign, but it's important because sometimes people can't recreate a look because they don't even know how they got there. They're just, you know, pretty much just styling off of instinct. But if you know how you got there, then you can recreate it. I'll do an off base curl when I get towards the top. Okay, so those curls are on base. This is gonna be off base. So there's this, if I put a curl here, that would be on base. If I put my curl right there, this will be half off base if I slide back just a little bit. But totally off base will be where I would drag that curl back here. And that way I won't, if I put that curl on base, I'll have a hump up here. So that's why it's important in learning, you know, different techniques and terms and what they mean so that you know why you're doing what you're doing. And that is something something that we learned in hair school, but now you guys know. So this is gonna be off base. So I'm gonna drag that curl back. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and curl the sides. You could do 2 to 3. The more you put over there, the more volume you will have. I don't want a lot of volume on this particular wig, so I'm just gonna do 2 curls. All right, guys, so I'm about to cut my lace. I know a lot of people don't cut their lace before they put it on, but it's most comfortable for me. I'm gonna use my zigzag shears, or some people call them peaking shears. You can see the little notches, and if you've been watching me for a while, you've seen me use them before. When I cut it, I'm actually gonna cut like super close to the lace, but I'm still gonna leave lace there. And like I said, you don't have to do this. This is just what I like to do, guys. And if it's easier for you to cut 3 little notches in here so that you can work around it, that's fine too. This puts these little crocodile, I call them crocodile teeth, it puts those right there along that lace line, because if you cut it straight, guys, it's gonna look fake. So this is creating like a zigzag across the front of the lace. Now we are ready to put it on. Yes, this burgundy, honey. Let's put her on. We're not doing glue today. We are doing the bow hole lace jelly, a simple application. This product right here is so amazing because it's gonna give you that daily hold. You could take the unit off every day if you wanted to and not worry about anything. Also, when we developed this product, it does not contain any harmful ingredients. It's super safe. It doesn't have DMDM or formaldehyde, anything in it that's gonna hurt you. No alcohol. That's the good thing, because a lot of alcohol-based products, depending on what kind of alcohol, guys, and I'll talk more about that later on other products, it just depends on what type of alcohol as to whether it's gonna, you know, irritate or bother your skin. So with this application, normally you will notice people will put the product underneath. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna put it directly on top, and I'm just gonna dry it. And if I feel like I need a little lace tint, I'll go on top of it with my lace tint, my bow hole lace tint. This is gonna make the install super easy. This can be as simple as you want it to be, and simply because of technique. With this jelly, I'm just gonna put it directly on top. I know you probably seen me in other videos where I put it underneath just for an option, but I'm gonna put this directly on top. I'm gonna start in the middle first, and then I'm just going to work my way down. I'm not gonna do baby hair, and then you're gonna see how strong that hold is. I'm gonna take my bow hole applicator, which has a spatula on it, and see, look at that. If you crook it, you can move it. That's the good part. Just start right here in the middle first, and I just put it directly on top. Super easy install. If you're running late and you're like, oh, I don't have time for glue, or I don't have time for, you know, hairsprays, and which I spoke about hairsprays a lot. We didn't do an aerosol spray because of the alcohol that is in your aerosol sprays, and spraying that directly to the skin can be harmful. So we decided to not do that. Everything is in a container instead of an aerosol can. And I'm using warm air. You don't want to burn your face off. Just do warm air. You can go back and forth with cool to warm. It's fine, and that's gonna hold it. And you notice I didn't use a lot of product. I like to dry it until it's completely dry. Don't partially dry it. Dry it all the way. That way, when you put your band on, your band is not sticking to the product and to the hairline. So now I'm gonna do the sides. And I'll work my way down. You don't have to curl your hair before, but it's just easier for me to do mine like that since I'm doing myself. I like to make sure that when I curl my wig, I'm curling them like exactly how I want them to be, because I can't see in the back of my head. All right, just like that other side, we're gonna go on top. I'm definitely gonna need some bow hole lace tint, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm not doing any baby hair. This is just a quick one to put the gel on, blow dry, and go. Especially those who don't have, like, it's not necessarily a glueless, but I just want to take a little bit of product to put it on because I really don't want to wear glue right now. So this is for you. That's who this jelly is for. A quick little 1-2. I'm not trying to do anything special. I just want to lay the gel on there, blow dry it, and go. Now with the actual bow hole lace tint. Sometimes I mix them. I'm getting a little tan. Sometimes I'll mix them, just depending on my shade. Right now I'm using the caramel. I'm gonna use a brush. I dip mine in and brush instead of spray it because I know the spray is gonna get everywhere. And then I just go on top, right there across the hairline. Because this is a HD lace, and sometimes with HD lace, if you spray it too much, it could get too dark, and you don't want that. And I'm using warm air. The only time I use cool air, if you watch my other videos, is when I'm doing glue. Glue will change. If your body's pH change due to the heat, that can affect the glue. You see how tight that is? It's tight like glue. It's not even glue, it's just gel. Not just any gel, bold hole lace jelly gel. Yes, baby, the hole is there. So now we're ready to style. And that is it, baby. We got this thing knocked out with this jelly. This hole, if you ask anybody in the comments that has used the bold hole lace jelly, they will tell you it is top notch. No crusty, nothing, baby. It's just on here, it's tight. She holding, yes, like glue. And you can take her off every day. What I do is I take it off and I actually like take a wet towel and I clean it off. And I'm gonna show you guys how I do that as well. But this is the look, honey. Yes, get into it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tell everybody, tell your mama, your daddy, everybody can wear this bold hole lace jelly, baby. Get it, www.thehairdiagram.com. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below.